Hello, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita, and I'm joined again by my co-host, Nick Barr. Today, we are talking a little Bulls basketball. We're talking, are the Chicago Bulls good? I know that's an orange banner, I realize. I didn't change it to Bulls red, but we're going to rock with it.
Looks good.
Quick little just breaking news from the NBA world. Kyrie Irving suspended, deserved it. So Bulls. The Bulls move on to 5-4. They are 5-4 on the season, and they beat the Hornets 106-88. We'll kind of just start there. The Bulls officially squished the Hornets. Nick, what you got on it? Could be Bulls in general or specifically this game. What you got?
Yeah, man. I think at this point, anyone who watched the game or was on Twitter afterwards, of course, it was all about the bench mob. You know, you saw some of the memes floating around from the 2010 bench mob. Tony and I even got a little even deeper comparing Javonte Green to the great Tyrese Thomas. Javonte's been on a tear. I mean, really, man, this was all about team ball. We all looked like, even I was watching some highlights again, and I was like really impressed with DeRozan's passing, which I didn't really realize at first, watching the game live. He had quite a few assists, 28 assists total as a team on 38 field goals. So that's team ball. And what really stood out, Tony, and what is, let's be honest, quite unheard of for us, was that we were 14 of 31 from three, which is almost 50%. And like usually we shoot like 26% from three. So that, I mean, we're going to win games if we shoot like that. I don't think it's going to happen every night, but we are going to win games like that. We also, the only bad thing I'm going to say about this entire game, because it's all about the Bulls here, we are seeing a ton of red, but I'm really kind of sick of just giving up wide open 3-pointers. I don't know about you, but I feel like we do it all the time. But we'll move past. We're positive vibes tonight. So, like I said, all about the bench mob, Tony. Javonte Green, team high, 17 points. So, and again, team high, right? So you can tell we were spreading the ball out, and he had 3 blocks too. I mean, again, there's 5 Javontes on the court, folks. Stacey King, Dragic with 16. Derek Jones Jr. even added 10 points. And for the starters, we saw Patrick Williams, who had probably one of his best games of his career against the Nets, bounce back with an arguably even better game with 16. DeRozan only had 9, which is wild to even say those words. Vooch 14, LaVine 10, which another weird one. Io with 8. And really, I got home a little late from a work trip, Tony, but the bench, like immediately when I turned it on, the bench was on fire. We didn't even have a single big 3 member, meaning like DeRozan, LaVine, Vooch, with double digits in the first half. So, I mean, I already knew, I'm like, okay, DeRozan's going to turn it up. He wasn't even taking that many shots anyway. He was dishing the ball more than anything. And I'm like, oh, we're just going to absolutely stomp these guys. And it turns out that, really, it was defense and it was our bench. Like we held them to 18 points in both the third and the fourth quarter, which is like super low. I mean, high school numbers. Come on, Hornets.
Yep.
So listen, man, I don't know. I'm feeling good about the Bulls. I'm seeing red right now, Tony. I think the bench has been sometimes a concern of ours, and we were playing without Drummond, and Drummond has been a huge light of our team this year. So we did it without him. Now, of course, it was nice to have LaVine playing in his first back-to-back of the season, right? So he played against the Nets, had an awesome game, basically won it for us, him and Io. And Kyrie's very poor performance helped. But, the Hornets, man, this was all about defense. This was all about, to me, P. Will. But, Tony, who stood out to you the most in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 guys here. I'll start with Javonte Green just because I wanted to hit on him real quick.
7 for 7, by the way.
7 for 7.
So pretty efficient, if I might add.
Yeah, I would argue he was efficient as well. You mentioned how LaVine and DeRozan combined for 19 total points. 19, the big 2, the 2, like the starting all-stars should have been starting all-stars, exactly, but whatever. Didn't even combine for 20 points in a game. We won by
Unreal.
What was it? Quick math.
Almost 20, 18, right?
Almost 20. Yep, 18. Sorry. A lot of too many, like the 88, 106. Like
the loopy,
yeah, that feels like 40. I don't know. Either way, it felt like 40 by the end for sure. But yeah,
it did.
Just pure domination with your 2 star players, basically, arguably having bad games, which, it happens. It's the NBA. People have off nights. It's 82 games for a reason.
For sure. Back to
LaVine,
back, whatever.
LaVine hit 1-3, and I know I tweeted, I'm the mystery worker that is being reprimanded for his incorrect take prediction, by the way, of saying, oh, here we go. LaVine and DeRozan, they're starting to heat up. DeRozan hit a free throw, and LaVine hit a 3, and then, boy, was I wrong. So Javonte Green's incredible. Yeah, and then my other guy that's sorry if you had more, Nick. I apologize. I keep cutting.
No, I don't. I could just talk about Javonte all day. He's awesome.
That's fair. Yeah, just jumping out of the gym. It truly is. And I put it on Twitter, and you guys gave it a bunch of likes, and we'll talk about another very well liked tweet by one of us here. But Javonte Green is one of those Chicago athletes we're going to be talking about. Like if you say Kirk Heinrich to someone from Utah, they don't know who that is. If you're going to say Javonte Green to someone in Utah, we'll use Utah again in 10 years, they're not going to remember who that is. But you say that name to someone in Chicago with, Captain Kirk, Javonte Green, like you know exactly who that is. You get a warm little feeling. You're like, I love that guy. That guy was awesome. Why was he awesome? He only averaged whatever. It doesn't matter. You don't get it. You had to be there. He was electric. That's my Javonte Green take.
100%. And I think, I mean, I already said I could talk about him all day. I won't, but this is my last point on Javonte. It's kind of like, just like anything, when you have a little taste of him, since he's not a starter, right? Like when you have a little taste of something, it makes it that much, better when he does come in, and then he's just like jumping out of the gym. It'd be one thing if we were used to him, if he was starting, we get used to, not to say that we don't love watching DeMar and Zach play, but they're playing like 28 minutes a game. We're used to their amazingness, but like
Javonte started a lot of the year because Patrick Williams was hurt, so it got a little stale, to use a word. It wasn't as every night being electric. So I agree with you.
And then you start criticizing people once they play enough, but like he plays just the right amount to where we're like, this guy's awesome. Like it's just great, man. He's making the most of his minutes, so that's what you need.
I totally agree. And then the other standout performance, again, another bench player here, but a key free agent signing, potentially one, arguably, it's going to be between him and Drummond potentially by the end of the year, the best free agent signing for the Chicago Bulls this offseason, potentially the NBA. That's what some people are saying. It's Goran Dragic, absolute animal out there. Basically, everyone was like, what do you mean? Or what did the Bulls say? That they're paying, or he only wanted to come to a place where he was going to play a lot, or where he was guaranteed minutes. Everyone's like, Lonzo Ball, we can't guarantee him those minutes. Well, we see what's happening, obviously. And you know what? He is making the most of those minutes, and I appreciate the heck out of it. Nick, you, let's say, promoted a video of Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic's, just way too many just crazy syllables in there, of his post-game interview where people seem to, I think, have fallen in love with him even more.
Oh, yeah. And it was really just a little clip of him talking about, I think what got the boys and girls fired up was how he threw in a little, we believe we got the best bench in the league. And then I think that's when like all the bench mob memes started coming out, and we're riding high on that. But dude, you'd be surprised. I probably got more people in my mentions that were Heat fans that were just like, we miss him so much. Like, we're so jealous that you have him, so it's all good vibes, man. He, and then of course he's chopping it up with Adam and Stacy, like talking about, because Stacy goes, I like your new fade, your new haircut. And he's talking about how he's got to hide his grays, but I'll tell you, man, you wouldn't, by the looks of his play this year, you wouldn't think he's 36 years old. So shout out to the Dragon. What were they calling him? Goji. A lot of the Heat fans were calling him Goji, and I didn't know that was a nickname. So I guess Goji's his nickname.
It
sounds a little naughty. I don't know what it is. It sounds a little
naughty, or like anime. Like it's something
very anime. Yeah.
Like he could definitely be on. I don't know if Dragon Ball Z counts as anime. I might totally.
No, Goji sounds like a character. Yes.
Yeah, Bleach.
He just like
I know
turns
that
into
one.
a dragon, and then he's Goran Goji the dragon. I don't know.
There we go. The drag Gitch. Yeah. Dragon. Yeah. Oh, that almost sounded like a swear. But either way, I do love him. I gotta give AK in the front office credit. They got Caruso last year, just a little point guard that kind of, it was like, you know what? My time's done with the team I'm on, which was the Lakers, obviously, for Caruso, and the Heat with with Dragic.
He got
It
out
was
at
what
the
it
right
was.
time.
It just felt like the right time for them to part ways. And all of a sudden they come to the Bulls. And I don't know if it's a chip on the shoulder thing. I don't know if it's just, hey, I'm getting more minutes. I have a chance to make a bigger impact, just change of scenery, whatever it may be. Maybe
Or
just the bag clears. I don't know.
He's just glad he's not on the dumpster fire that is the Lakers. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
That is true. That could be it, definitely, for sure. And then I don't know what it is, but shout out them for just finding those little nuggets that, again, he's not going to win MVP. He's not going to make an all-star game. He's not going to.
But you feel his impact every minute he's on the court.
Exactly. That's what Caruso does. That's what this team does in general. That's what I love about it. That's Javonte Green, another guy right there. Is this team is it's fun to root for. It's not like a Nets where you're just like you almost expect to win. I feel like with them, and it's
right.
The old USSR hockey team when they lost to like the USA in the 80s. They had this thing where it wasn't we like winning. It's we're terrified to lose. Basically, that's kind of what the Nets feel like. What LeBron kind of feels like. Although they're funny, they're probably celebrating their first win like they won the NBA championship. But that's the best part about this team. Winning is fun still, and I love every second of it. And speaking of winning, do you think we're going to beat the Boston Celtics in Boston on Friday night after I'd argue we embarrassed them the last time we played just because we came back. They blew such a big lead and we ended up blowing them out by the end?
Yeah. Honestly, if you asked me at the beginning of the season, I don't know what I would say, but right now I'm feeling pretty good. I think we definitely could. And I think a lot of this relies on, Jason Tatum, you got to hand it to the guy. He's kind of going off. He's in his prime right now. He's going to be really good for a couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
So that's expected, but he is averaging 30 points a game right now. And I think, but I'm assuming P. Will would be guarding him, the paw. I don't think, no offense to DeRozan or Zach LaVine, I don't think that would be the best idea. And, with him still starting, I don't think that's going to change, even though Javonte's playing out of his mind. P. Will's kind of, and they're showing that they want to build, they still have some faith in his development as a young player, blah, blah, blah. So I think it kind of lies. I think he's the X factor again. I think we'll probably get a lot better performance out of DeRozan. I'm pumped to see that Zach LaVine is not even listed on the injury report. And so I'm going to clap it up because that's the first time this season that he's because he was either questionable or out. So that's huge. So we got our all-stars. We got P. Will coming off two probably of his best games. So we need him to be confident, because on both sides of the floor, that's going to show. Right. So, dude, I think we can do it. We are playing at Boston. It's never easy, but we're from Chicago, man. We good.
Absolutely.
I think we got
owns
this.
The general Boston area right now after a couple weeks ago. What was that, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? The Bears trouncing the Patriots and then the Bulls doing it the same night. We got their number, I would say. I would officially put this up as we might have the general Boston area's number. The state of Massachusetts.
Might have the key to the city, dare I say.
Wow. I think if the Bulls can win on Friday night, I think by force we came in and took it from them. Like we reverse tea partied them. I don't know. I can't think of a non-violent, super violent reference, obviously.
Consensually giving us the key to the city. They just say, "Hey, you're better." That's it.
You know what? They just respect game. They're like, "All right,
because we know. We know Boston people are known for being very, level-headed and agreeable like that, and I'm sure there'd be no turmoil whatsoever.
We need some sort of mayor's bet. I don't know. We just need a good mayor's bet. It doesn't even have to be Bulls and Celtics, just in life in general. I think we need like an aggressive one. Like if you win, you just own our stadium now. Like until next year, till the next time we play, we can win it back. How awesome!
Pretty soon, the stakes of gambling are going to get old. We love dopamine. We're going to be tapped out on that. Everyone's gambling now, and we're going to need to raise the stakes once again.
We'll just we just get Jason Tatum if we win. They get DeRozan if they win. Like just true. There'd be death. There might be death on that court. That would truly be a fight, I think, and that would be awesome. So
I think it would
make sense. So I'm gonna shift out of that little topic back to the Bulls Celtics. What's actually gonna happen is I think DJJ is gonna get a lot of run in this game as kind of, I'm not gonna call it a Tatum stopper kind of thing, but just being that long athletic body that will.
It's a great point.
Even if it's just eat up some minutes while he's in the game, give the boys a break. Because obviously Patrick Williams, if he is guarding him, I know he's been producing on the offensive side, but he's going to have to dig in on the defensive side.
And to your point, I don't know if we were live when you said this, but you mentioned how the Celtics aren't that big. I mean, and I know we aren't either, but we could play small ball and play DJJ at the 4 or whatever, and he would fit in just fine. You know what I mean? And because we are going to
Drummond had like 35 rebounds combined, I think.
Last time they played.
It was like 12 and 23 or something. I think
absolute field day. Yeah,
and that is going to stink. Where Drummond will be out with a shoulder injury on Friday, and that is one of our really big advantages. Not just ours, but any team that's kind of big. That's their advantage against the Celtics is just having the dudes that can crash the glass. That was a big difference maker, in my opinion, in that game. As long as Vooch can get after those boards again still, and the boys can pick up the slack, I think that is definitely a key to victory, if you want to call it that, for me.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah. So we are going to move into our final thoughts here. It could be Bulls. It could be general Bulls related. Honestly, it could be anything related. I'm going to use my time to just make a prediction that we're going to beat the Boston Celtics. We're going to embarrass Jason Tatum, who I technically have an axe to grind just because one of my friends is a big Tatum fan. I kind of like him, but I can't, say that I do. If that makes sense.
I'm pretty indifferent. I like his game. I like watching him play ball. But now
I think he's a wonderful basketball player, and I was rooting for the Celtics against the Warriors in the finals. I was rooting for him. I will say, and I always root for him against the Nets, against the Sixers, against these teams I actually dislike. But there's something I also can't root for him to succeed. Maybe it was because Lauri Markkanen was taken in the same draft, and I had to dig in my heels for a couple of years pretending he was better. I don't know.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah. So that's my thought.
My final thought, Tony, I'm going to actually talk a little bit about, if anyone's interested in maybe winning some money responsibly.
Wow.
The Celtics are -7, dude. And I'm not liking that. I'm not liking that one bit. I'm not surprised that they're favored by any means, but the Bulls are 5-4, Celtics are 4-3. LaVine's not on the injury report. I would get it if LaVine was out. I know we got Drummond out. They don't have anyone out. But take the Bulls +7. Even if you're not a Bulls fan and you're watching this, and you're a true hero if that's the case, but win a little dough, man. Take the Bulls -7. Lock that shit in right now because that's ridiculous.
I agree. That's just a lot of points in general for an NBA
game. A lot
of
points.
Yeah, and we'll get out of here in a moment. I know we're running long. If you're still listening, I literally love you. I love you to death for continuing this far. Drop us a comment if you're still listening. But I think that is a lot of points, especially for an NBA game between good teams. There's just so much that can happen at the end where Bulls might lose by 4, and it never have been close, for the first 3.5 quarters, but they just made a little run at the end. The Celtics were like, we're up by enough. Oh, got a little close. Boom. Game. They run the clock out. The Bulls miss a big 3 at the end, whatever. It's just a lot of points.
It's a lot of points, man. So go Bulls.
Absolutely.
Make sure you go vote on Tuesday because the NBA told you so.
Yes.
And see red.
Yes, the NBA is completely off on Tuesday. The Bulls have a back-to-back little home-and-home action against the Raptors on Sunday and Monday. In Toronto on Sunday, 5 o'clock. I believe that's Canadian Thanksgiving. Just kidding. I do not know that. And then on Monday, that's a pretty cool joke. I apologize if I offended. On Monday, the Bulls play then back at home against the Raptors still in Chicago. It's 7:45. Tuesday, they'll all be out there voting. Zach LaVine, I think, will personally be working at the poll that I'm sure they'll run at the United Center. I think actually
staying all day.
Yes.
Yep. They probably do. That's cool.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. It would make sense. Doesn't matter. So, but Wednesday back in action. I will probably put out a video around then and update you on when they play. Insert team they're playing on Wednesday here. So with that, that'll do it for this episode.
Cross country classic, baby.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Sweet.
So with that, that'll do it for this episode of Just Another You Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. Thank you again to my co-host, Nick Barr. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Till next time, Bulls fans, keep seeing red.
They play the Pelicans, by the way. Bye.